Southwest Denver.
Well, it's 6 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Friday, May 30th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned in to the Jeff and Bill Show. News Talk 710 KNUS. I'm your co-host, Jeff Hunt, along with Bill Thorpe, bringing you the freshest insights and hottest takes from the right, left, and center. Colorado's blue, America's red. It all meets right here on the Jeff and Bill Show, where you're invited to be a part of the conversation by giving us a call. Phone lines are open at 303-696-1971. Or text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. That's 720-819-5115. Lots to talk about today. Big bust coming out of New York against a USDA employee and 5 others charged in a multi-million-dollar food stamp fraud and bribery scheme. Here's some of the fraud we were looking for. $66 million. We'll talk about this coming up here in just a moment. We're going to talk with Kevin Cirilli, a futurist, a little bit later. Science is now pushing the boundaries of human longevity, allowing people to live healthier, longer lives. Can you hack the human lifespan and become a super ager? Well, futurist Kevin Cirilli will look at the biotech revolution that's changing how long people are living. I'll talk to him in the 7 o'clock hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, lots of changes happening here in Colorado. Trump administration publicly listing sanctuary jurisdictions that include 41 of Colorado's 64 counties. We'll cover that, plus some of the budget problems facing metro areas in the 8 o'clock hour. 9 o'clock hour, Alliance Defending Freedom is going to join us as that brand XXXY, started by Jennifer Say, is suing the state of Colorado over the radical transgender bill 1312 on free speech grounds. So Alliance Defending Freedom, 9 o'clock hour, and then we'll finish with some cowboy poetry today. Yeah. So lots to talk about.
That free speech case is going to be interesting. That's an interesting angle to take on it, and it could be an angle of unintended consequences, something that could be prohibited by the law that maybe the lawmakers didn't intend. Perhaps they did intend it, but this is going to be an interesting conversation about does this inhibit their free speech and how? This is a very interesting, clever way to go about this. I'm really intrigued to see what the lawyers got in their bag. This is going to be cool.
Well, there was this interesting line in the bill that prohibits advertising with regards to transgenderism, and the company going, our entire company is about the fact that we believe there are 2 genders, and you have specifically put into law bans on advertising.
Yes. and it's going to be interesting as far as where the speech goes, as where how much of it is commercial speech, how much of it is free speech, and if it allows something that promotes or says, the idea of having a pride display inside of your store and having things that have T-shirts on it that may be very pride forward, how does that comport with the idea of saying you couldn't have something like the T-shirt where the kid just recently lost to the Supreme Court, where they took there are only 2 genders. They didn't take the case. So it's the lower court stands. So it's not incorrect. He lost. He just didn't take the case.
Did they not, or was it a 4-4? They didn't take the case.
They didn't take the case.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't take the case, and so the lower court ruling stands. But it says there are 2 genders. Would that be a violation of the law? And that's kind of where this XXY company is coming from. And I can see their place. I can see their argument. I can see their point on this. And so this is going to be an interesting conversation. This will be fun.
Alliance Defending Freedom with another lawsuit. They were on our show just 2 weeks ago, or last week, with
busy
with Idra Haji. So
yeah, and I think they're right about Idra Haji too.
State of Colorado bringing lots of business to Alliance Defending Freedom.
I disagree necessarily with the point that Ida Haji is making, but I do support their ability to make that choice, and I do support Alliance Defending Freedom on their case. I think that they have the right case in this one. I think they're correct on it. I think Ida Haji should be allowed to make that choice as well. So
Bill's the last principled pluralist.
I know, it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm on my own island.
Now is time for your 6 a.m. dose of news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Good morning. TGIF 49 and clear outside in Denver. Going to be a beautiful day today. Expecting a high of 82. So I can finally mow my lawn after all that rain.
No, you don't. Awesome. No, it's okay. It can go a couple of days later.
You think so?
Yes.
You got to let yours grow.
And if the wife says anything, Bill said it was okay. Because everybody else is mad at me. Wanted her to. Yes.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, I'm at that point where you know what? I'm actually going to enjoy it this time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
I measure it by how high the grass is compared to the dog's tummy. Can't see the tummy anymore. I got to go mow. Yeah.
And you're a guy who owns snakes.
Yes,
that
exactly.
Is scary.
It is.
Do you ever let them just disappear out there into the lawn for a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, but I have to watch them. I mean, if they were larger-bodied snakes, yeah, but they're thinner-bodied, and so any sort of small hole they can't explore, so I've got to be really... but I normally don't do that until they're about 3 years old. However... Okay, this is going to be weird. This is a weird conversation to have. Never thought I'd have this conversation this morning.
No way.
I do have a playpen for the snakes.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Here's where it comes from.
In the backyard?
Yeah. Well, it's a
toddler playpen.
It's for kitties. It's a cat playpen, but it's used for kittens, and it's collapsible. And so what I do is, and it has a zipper on the top. And so if I want to go out back and I'm doing something else, and I want the snakes to have a little sunshine, or one of them, I'll bring out it's a collapsible. And it's probably like 3 feet by 3 feet, and put them in with a couple of their hides, and just zip the top. And then if I'm doing something outside, just let them sit there, and they can go out and explore the sun, but I know they can't go anywhere. I don't have to watch them. And most importantly, I know the neighborhood hawks, of which we have 3 that live in trees across the literally right across the street. They'll come and get them because these are brightly colored, very appealing food. So I know that. And I've heard some of the hawks above sometimes when I've had one of the snakes, my big A-male outside, because she's big bright orange. She's orange and red. You can't miss her. And so I've heard them circling above us a couple of times. So
they zero in on your house. I guarantee
they do.
that.
They're just waiting.
That is cool.
They're just waiting. They're like, sooner or later he's going to make a mistake. Sooner or later he's going to make a mistake. We're going to get one of those snakes.
Let's find one that you don't like, and I want to shoot some video of the hawk diving down to get it.
What I'd love to do is get
one of them that ticks you off.
I'd love to get like a Burmese python or a reticulated python, just a really big, like 10-foot snake, and put it in the back to see what they do.
That would be it.
My anaconda don't want none.
We can't sing the rest of that song.
You're so hip.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. All right, our top story.
I'm sure you can always find the judge that is insane and lunatic enough in the Democrat Party, a sufficiently communist judge, to rule on anything.
DJT's ban on international students at Harvard is being blocked by a federal rogue judge. The judge ruled in Boston that she wants to maintain the status quo by allowing Harvard to continue hosting foreign students on visas. Stephen Miller.
So Harvard is engaged in illegal and criminal conduct, and a judge is siding with Harvard's right to pad his pockets with foreign cash over the rights of American citizens and the American Constitution. The Democrat Party's philosophy right now is for foreigners, everything, for Americans, nothing. President Trump is fighting for American workers, for the blue-collar workers, and for the middle class of this country.
Yes. Thank you, Stephen Miller. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit Court rules to reinstate 47's Liberation Day tariffs during the appeal process. Now it heads to the Supreme Court.
He likes the sweeping authority because it lets him deal with everybody who treats us unfairly, who doesn't treat us reciprocally. He can use IEPA to do the whole world and sort of set America up correctly and protect America from the national emergency. But as you know, we're going to go through the courts, and you should always bet on Donald Trump, because what we've all seen is he does not lose.
Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary. Now, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says trade talks with China have stalled. I'm sure it'll change over the weekend or next week. Stay tuned. This morning in the Oval Office, DJT is having a press conference with Elon on his last day. But 47 says not really, because he will always be with us, helping all the way. Elon is terrific. VPJD on Elon's impact.
I think what he's done is really incredible. People sort of forget that when he came into the U.S. government, we had never had a full-scale effort to actually look at, are we spending the American people's dollars wisely? And he found in a very short period of time over $170 billion of waste, fraud, and abuse.
Now we will hopefully see a flood of rescissions packages beginning next week. 47 will be in Pittsburgh today to hold his first rally since being reelected. They'll be celebrating the steel industry growth and a huge merger. The Department of Homeland Security has placed 41 of Colorado's 64 counties on the list for obstructing enforcement of federal immigration laws and endangering American communities. More than a dozen cities were also put on the list, including Denver, Aurora, Boulder, Lakewood, and Longmont. The state of Colorado was also listed as a self-identified sanctuary jurisdiction. DHS plans to send letters demanding immediate changes to bring each community into line with federal immigration and enforcement policies. See what the commies say in these cities. Blue meets red.
Not on this list. Douglas County.
Oh, yeah.
Elbert County, not on the list there.
Right. Weld. Is Weld on there?
Yes.
It is. Okay.
It is. Interesting.
Greeley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
that is, Weld's a huge area. Yeah, that is interesting. Eastern Colorado and the rural areas of southwestern Colorado, maybe northwestern Colorado.
Yeah, 41 of 64. It's a lot. And
Yeah.
then the cities, Aurora, Avon. Yeah.
Of course.
You got to have the house cleaners in Beaver Creek.
That's right.
Basalt, Boulder,
Aspen.
Carbondale, Denver, Dillon, of course, Durango, Eagle, Fort
Is that-
Collins.
Aspen has to be on there, right?
Well, the city is not. Well, what's the county that Aspen's
Maybe it's
in?
too small. I don't know.
What is it?
Oh, that's not Rowell. What is that? Why can't I think of it? We just had a story.
Yeah, it's not Granite, it's Summit.
It's Pitkin County,
Pitkin,
and yes,
Pitkin.
Pitkin County's on there.
Okay.
So the county's there because you gotta have the immigrants to clean the $1 million homes in the mountains.
Absolutely. Who's gonna cook for me in Aspen? As Israel says it's accepted a new proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza. An Israeli official said Thursday that the U.S. proposal calls for the release of 10 living hostages being held by Hamas, as well as 18 deceased hostages and a 60-day truce. Hamas said it was reviewing the new proposal and responsibly studying it. I love that. Hamas is reviewing it and responsibly studying it. Hamas, please, just let the people go for the love of God, or we're going to have more
I was
deaths.
watching this guy at the United Nations, from Palestine cry about what's happening there, and I'm just going, guys, let them go. Let the hostages go at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Or else you're going to have more dead bodies on your hand. I mean, it's just it's a joke how you look at this Hamas like it has it's an official government or something. News brought to you by Lair Fireplace and Patio, Denver's premier source for everything fireplace, patio, and grills, locally owned and operated since 1954, online at lairfireplacepatio.com. The Knicks force a Game 6 in the Circle City tomorrow, that's Indianapolis, against the Pacers in the East. NHL, Edmonton over the Stars in the West. It'll be Florida and Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Finals coming up. So we'll see if Canada can win one here in 2025. First time since 93. 46 in Castle Rock, 47 in Westminster, 49 in Denver. Jeff and Billy continue. TGIF, here we go. Blake Olson, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Temperatures will still be a little on the cool side, and there's still enough moisture around for night and morning fog and a few scattered showers and thunderstorms today. Highs mid to upper 60s. Clearing out a bit tonight, lows 40s and lower 50s.